I love a really good gravy, and I'd be quite kind of pedantic about it. So, but it can be made weeks in advance and frozen if you want. The big key is to spend a bit of time on it when you're prepping it at first, and then on Christmas Day, just make sure you keep the juices from the meat. That's really important.
Yes.
So I like to start with some chopped onion, just dice your onion, a little bit of rapeseed oil, a little bit of butter, pinch of salt in just to soften it down, help it to soften down, and then keep on going with that. So on a very low heat. So when I'm making a Sunday roast, even like the first thing I do is chop the onion and get that on, and then I go looking for all the other ingredients and whatever. So you want to give that a good like 20 minutes, half an hour if you can. Keep an eye on it, stir, 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 lid on if you can. And then once the onions have really caramelised, like golden brown, we're talking here, a little squeeze of tomato puree in, just cook that out with the sweetness of the onions. Then you're going to deglaze with whatever alcohol you want. So say if I was doing a turkey, I'd probably like to go with maybe some sherry or marsala, a little bit of a lighter kind of alcohol. If I was doing beef, I might go with just red wine. So deglaze with whatever you want, which basically means taking up all those little sticky bits of deliciousness that you've worked hard to achieve from the bottom of the pot. And then when the liquid has more or less evaporated, you're going to add a tablespoon of flour and a tablespoon of butter. So you're making a roux in there in those lovely flavours. Cook that out again for a couple of minutes, like definitely take 2 or 3 minutes to make sure the flour is cooked out. Then you can add a stock cube in. So if you're going with turkey or duck, I made duck the last couple of Christmases, chicken stock, just a good quality chicken stock cube. So the likes of a callow or whatever, is fine for this, or beef if you're going with a beef or lamb or whatever. So let that cook now for a good 2 or 3 hours.
And you add liquid with the stock cube, yes?
Oh, yes,
water.
yes.
Your water's very important. Don't leave the stock cube in your own... Or Louise is, there could be smoke in the kitchen.
I should not assume knowledge. Yes, when I said stock cube, I assume everyone knows to dissolve the stock cube in some liquid.
Fire blanket needed in the Christmas kitchen. No, you got to add the liquid. So you got to add, if you put in a stock cube and it says a pint of liquid, put the pint in.
Yes, yeah, good 500
water,
mils.
Water.
Yeah, I suppose at Christmas time you could go with a litre, so 2 stock cubes and a litre, because you want plenty of liquid, and then you want to bubble it down, simmer it down, reduce it for a good couple of hours. And then at that point, just cool it. If you're I'll probably make it on Christmas Eve or even on the 23rd. I'll just leave it in the pot in the fridge with the lid on. And then on Christmas Day, all I have to do is pour the juices from the meat into it and let it simmer for another 10 or 15 minutes. Now, if you want a nice smooth gravy, first of all, cooking out the roux is really important. You won't have lumps if you do that. But secondly, I always pour through a sieve. So I have a big Pyrex jug and a sieve on standby. And then it's a good thing to do because you can really squeeze the vegetables through.
Yes.
And that's where you get that lovely flavour.
Yeah.
And then just pour it into your gravy boat.
So that's the key. Through a sieve, press it through the sieve and you'll have no lumps in it. Louise has been back on the caller to say, can you do 2 litres or 3, and she'll call up to your house on Christmas Day to collect the gravy. Is that okay?